Hello, everybody. Scott Golden here with the Pro Wrestling Logic YouTube channel and the continuation of our TNT Tuesday Night Titans review series. July 5th, 1985 is on tap, and we will go through the remainder of this program, which is around for just over another 14 months or so, give or take. This program has some rather interesting components to it. This particular episode, Jesse Ventura out, talks about being a star, talks about being a wrestler, talks about being a musician, demands that the full edition of his song be played. He then is frustrated by the lack of respect that he got at the awards ceremony or the cable net network convention out in Vegas a few weeks ago. Almost said years. Sometimes these shows, some of them drag and feel like years. In any event, Ventura is less than satisfied. We then see a clipped match, I believe from Madison Square Garden. Ventura against Tony Garea. Garea, multi-time former tag team champion. A good challenger for Ventura, or a good challenge for Ventura. Not really challenging for anything, but Jesse does manage to put him away. Match is clipped to heck, so not really worth mentioning, except the one thing I would mention about the contest in general, or any contest that Jesse is in, outside of being a really good talker, Jesse sells like $1,000,000. I mean, he is a guy that will make it look like he's in trouble. He also is one of the first guys that you really hear doing a lot of talking, a lot of trash talking during matches. And heels today have stolen and continue to steal that mentality. Again, Jesse does walk away with a victory in that situation. There is a big offer that Jesse comes back to. That offer is to host TNT the following week. Jesse doesn't know who he's going to get as guests. He does, however, have to agree to let Lord Alfred Hayes host the program as he often always does. And Ventura doesn't like this, but does finally admit, hey, that's going to happen. And I'll let that happen for the sake of having an opportunity to host the program. Ventura is your host for TNT next week. Les Thornton out, showing traditional submission, almost catch style or a British style submission moves. We see him execute a few arm locks. We see him mainly focus on the front face lock, makes a knock at Hulk Hogan and Richard Belzer, which had already happened. Belzer is a host of a talk show who passes out and gets his head split open on the floor when Hogan puts a shin lock or front face lock rather on him. Bobby Heenan up next. He addresses his clients, whether it's Big John Studd, who he feels he has led sufficiently. He addresses his new client, the Missing Link, and how hard the link is to control. He also addresses his hatred for Paul Orndorff and how there is a bounty on Orndorff. He does talk a little bit about Ken Patera and how the family is as strong as it's ever been. Patera up next with a enhancement match with Gary Starr. As one would expect, this is a traditional one-sided match. Patera getting almost 95% plus of the offense, using the swinging full Nelson to gain himself a victory. This has to be closing in on, if not is the final television appearance for Patera as he goes off to jail for 2 years and some months due to a outside of the ring incident at McDonald's with a brick being thrown through a window, etc. He could not get out of it because he also later beat up some police officers along the way tied to the incident as well. Heenan then talks about the bounty that's on the head of Orndorff. He is obviously very dissatisfied with being fired by one of his own men. He says he'll put up $25,000 to anyone who can make this, you know, go away for him. He doesn't care who does it. He doesn't care how. He doesn't care if it's Piper. Doesn't care if it's Cowboy Bob, Piper, whomever. Whoever wants to collect $25,000 can do so on the basis of getting even for Bobby Heenan. A quick match with the missing Link and SD Jones. Link obviously wins. Link isn't here very long. He's here for maybe one or two TV tapings. That's about it. Don't really remember. I know I read Missing Link's book several years ago, but I don't remember the ins and outs of the why this doesn't work. Link claimed, although he also had some major drug issues, he claimed that he was in line in the late 60s, early 70s to be an NWA champion. I'm not sure I believe that, but Missing Link, a very talented guy, and an interesting dichotomy to see here. Interesting that they put him with Bobby Heenan. To me, that at least means they were somewhat serious about doing something with him. Then we visit the Link's lair. It's straight out of a cave, straight out of a video game. Link is nonverbal. Heenan has to track him down, and even Bobby Heenan's a little intimidated by this process. Needless to say, the missing Link does not fit long in the World Wrestling Federation. We close the show again, reminded that the Prince may be on next week's TNT at the hands of Jesse Ventura, and Ventura promises to bring on good guests as we close this week's edition of TNT. Certainly a semi-newsworthy or newsworthy edition. Noseworthy? Not quite. Edition of TNT, mainly with the missing Link related stuff, and worth taking a peek at for that reason. Until next time, like, subscribe, comment below. Until next time, everybody.